Hello y'all, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing well. In this video, my posture improves drastically, so stick around to find out why. It may or may not have something to do with a random object in this video. Ooh, suspense! I'm gonna share some footage of different art projects I've been working on for the past month or so. I'm also gonna share a few artists that I've found through my professors and through Are.na, which I will talk about in a second, and why I think it's so important to have something like Are.na in this digital age. This video might be helpful for anyone who's having an artist block or just having some kind of like inspiration deficit. I know I have had that for a while now. I think that studying the way that other people study the world as artists can help form our own reality and our own sense of truth, if that makes sense. I say all this because I'm on track to pursue a career in art education, so I'm trying to pick apart what's important in the giant machine of the art world that is rapidly changing, partly due to technology, partly due to just like, well, honestly, mostly due to technology, but like, art is just so subjective and it changes all the time based on how culture changes. I'm partly picking it apart. Oh, that's a weird sentence. I'm trying to do this partly for myself, but partly so I can understand how to actually do my hypothetical future art teacher job. But at the same time, I want people to understand the capitalist force that drives our art market and understand why certain art succeeds over others or what any of it means. I've just barely begun to scratch the surface of truly understanding art education, but I know that this channel serves as somewhat of an art educational entity for a lot of y'all, and I want to refine that. I want to provide quality art education on this channel if I have the means to do so. That being said, I'm just gonna pretty much use this video to talk about artists that I have researched and really enjoyed. There is so much accessibility of like finding different artists, and not just on Instagram, not just on like social media, or at least the social media platforms that dominate our experience of the internet. Like, I'm trying to find artists through different routes and different methods as opposed to just this like gallery format of just like an Instagram square, trying to figure it out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for sticking around, and let's get into it. The first artist I want to talk about is Andrea Zittel. I learned about her through my secondary art education class, but my professor found her through Art21, I believe, which I haven't checked that resource out, but some classmates were really excited about Art21 when she brought it up, so maybe I will give it a shot soon. And Andrea Zittel is an American artist born in 1965 in Escondido, California. She's known for her integrative and interdisciplinary approaches. That was a tongue twister, but anyway, those approaches to art, and she creates installations and sculptures that explore the relationships between life, spaces, and objects. Her work reflects on the routines and structures of life, and she's known for transforming everyday items into works of art. Zittel has had numerous solo exhibitions worldwide, and her work is included in major public collections, including the Museum of Modern Art in New York and the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art as well. And she lives and works in Joshua Tree, California, which seems pretty fitting to be honest, where she established the A2Z West, a testing ground for her artworks and ideas. This 70-acre compound encompasses her home, studio, and a variety of experimental projects. One of Andrea Zittel's most notable projects would probably have to be Pocket Property, which that project is a floating island located off the coast of Denmark, expanding her exploration of living spaces into the realm of self-sustained autonomous habitats. The Pocket Property is a 44-ton concrete island that she constructed. Well, maybe not her herself, but she had it constructed. It's complete with a cabin, a coastline, and an underwater reef. This project emphasizes Zittel's interest in the ways that we attribute significance to our immediate surroundings and how we adapt to different living conditions. It's a testament to her ongoing exploration of self-sufficiency, autonomy, and our relationship with the natural environment. And like, side note, I don't know about y'all, but personally, I don't have the funds, time, or energy to plan out an entire island like she did and alter the world map as we know it. But regardless, I think it's pretty cool that she was able to like do that in the first place in the name of art, and also just to like have a place to chill and get away from it all. Like, something that you created and planned out like that, like, it's kind of crazy how she just added a landmass to the map. Like, you're altering history, you're literally altering the world. You're terraforming like in Animal Crossing. At the start of this video, I mentioned Are.na, and I promised to discuss why it's so important. So let's dive into that. About half a year ago, a friend of mine introduced me to Are.na, and it's been a game changer in my everyday life, to be honest. It's like Pinterest, but for PDFs and links, and their version of boards are called blocks. It's less focused on images, although you can curate and organize images if you wish. I primarily use it as an art educational resource. I have a whole art education block where I stash any interesting resource articles or websites that artists have made. Since Are.na doesn't have a like or view count, but rather allows you to connect information and find intersections between topics above all, I find it pretty useful for, finding unbiased information about art history and art in general. And since I started using Are.na, I've been compiling a list of artists that I'd like to teach about one day in my teaching career. It's nice to have an arsenal of artists that I know about and can actually perform research on that are like contemporary and alive, and also something that the students can relate to and see a bit of themselves in. Anyway, that's why I value Are.na. This isn't sponsored by them or anything, just my thoughts on a website I appreciate, and I know it's kind of dumb to give someone free promo, but this website has genuinely been such a big part of my life for the past few months, and I can see myself continuing to use it as a full-time teacher to keep consistently finding more and more artists to analyze and teach about. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. The next artist I want to talk about is Tanya P.johnson. She is a contemporary artist who explores themes of balance and equilibrium, which to me are very reminiscent of the Swedish artist Hilma af Klint. In her Wisdom Engine series, Johnson presents a collection of abstract compositions that are thoughtfully arranged to achieve balance and harmony. The artworks are characterized by their vibrant colors, geometric shapes, and intricate patterns, and she uses the phrase consciousness hacking to describe them. She beautifully combines the disciplines of art and psychology, creating a unique visual language that prompts viewers to explore their own emotional landscapes. The series encapsulates Johnson's exploration of balance, mirroring the equilibrium that is sought in psychological healing. Her work serves as a reminder of the transformative power of art, both as a medium of personal expression and as a tool for psychological exploration. And if you want to check out her website, see more of her work, read about it, I'll link it in the description, but I think it's very cool. She has so much other art outside of her Wisdom Engine series. That's just what I was immediately drawn to. Like, each category on her website is something completely different aesthetic-wise, and I love it so much. Recently, I took this media and technology class that delves into the post-digital realm of art education, and I thought it was going to be completely different than what it ended up being, but through this class, I found websites created by artists that have pushed the boundaries of the internet for me. For a while, I'd been stuck in this loop of the monopolizing social media companies like Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and all those to Gigi is meowing in the background. I apologize in advance. He is a whiny baby. Anyway, but those monopolizing social media companies control the art I consume, and through creating their own websites, these artists have changed the way that we interpret their visual culture, as it's not confined by a box on a program over which they have no ownership. So I think it's really important that in this digital age, artists are still able to portray their work in a way that is most true to them, having a lot of autonomy in that, instead of settling for less in order to succeed short term on these platforms. So without further ado, I want to talk about two artists with websites that I personally really enjoy, like aesthetic-wise. I'll start with Farah Al-Qasimi. She's a photographer and she's living in Brooklyn, New York, and she's known for her photographs of life in the Persian Gulf. And to me, a lot of her photographs convey this sort of liminal feeling, although her subject matter is often vibrant and pattern-filled, and her website is unique and interactive. Like, for example, there are cute sticker-like elements that fill in the blank background space, your cursor is pink, and you get a quick preview of every project when you hover over it with your mouse. So there's a lot of time and dedication that has gone into these design choices and the coding, and I don't really know how all that stuff works specifically, but I can tell that there was a lot of hard work and effort put into this digital interface. I really like her project titled The World is Sinking, but all of them are worth checking out and reading about, and they all have their little respective blurbs on the website, so it's pretty cool. Just check it out. Another artist with a really amazing website is Tabita Rezaire. I read about her in the book that we had to read for one of my classes, but instead of just reading about her, I wanted to experience this digital world that the author spoke of, so naturally I checked out her website and I was simply blown away. For some more context, Tabita Rezaire is a French new media artist and health tech political therapist and Kemetic and Kundalini yoga teacher. Like, wow. She is known for her unique fusion of technology, spirituality, and identity within her work. And this is taken directly from her website, but quote, through screen interfaces and collective offerings, her digital healing and energy streams remind us to access our own inner data center, to bypass Western authority and download directly from source. This actually reminded me of a video I recently watched called Wangechi Mutu and Transhumanist Feminism by Amor Siendi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which mentions cyborg feminism and owning the idea of becoming one with this technology, like our phones that have such control over us, as much as we'd like to think it's the other way around. Funny enough, Wangechi Mutu is actually the next artist I want to talk about, so that's a slight foreshadowing moment. But yeah, I think that cyborg feminism and Rezaire's idea of technology intertwining with spirituality are related in some shape or form, and I think they're part of this bigger idea of like us becoming one with this algorithm, like anonymous kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but the guy explains it in the video way better than I ever could, so go watch it. But anyway, Rezaire's art practice is deeply intertwined with her website. It acts not just as a platform to showcase her work, but an extension of her creative realm. Her website is an interactive digital space that pulls visitors into her artistic universe. It encapsulates her innovative spirit, blending immersive visuals with experimental formats. In terms of subject matter, Rezaire's work often addresses themes of decolonization, technology, and spirituality, and she uses digital technology as a medium to explore these complex themes, creating art that is not only visually captivating but also thought-provoking. Her work promotes a deep sense of cultural and digital consciousness. She seeks to challenge and disrupt the traditional narratives and norms, especially those related to digital technology and its impact on our lives. She's particularly known for her explorations of the internet as a colonial structure and her efforts to reimagine it as a tool for liberation and healing, which I think is pretty cool. Hello! Her work provocatively examines the intersection of race, gender, and technology, posing questions about power dynamics in the digital age. It's through this lens that Tabita Rezaire offers a critical analysis of our contemporary digital society. All this to say, I would highly recommend checking out her website and scroll through this giant multimedia conglomerate that formats her portfolio in a groundbreaking manner. There is so much to explore and so much to learn from her art and its message. Even if it is a little bit culty looking, I'm gonna ignore it, I'm gonna look past it. I think it's also so cool that her website doesn't like format with my laptop screen correctly. I know it might not even be on purpose because it does format to my phone screen correctly, but it feels like it's kind of saying, you can't trap me in this predetermined screen size. I'm gonna expand beyond what you are used to seeing because my art is bigger than that. And yeah, again, I'm not sure if that was intentional, but either way, I think it's really cool. Kind of breaks the rules. Oh my god, what is that? What is in that giant box? Oh my god. And now for a brief intermission where I talk about that thing that I vaguely mentioned earlier, that secret suspenseful surprise that may or may not be in the room with us right now. It is the FlexiSpot C7 ergonomic chair. Now, I am not usually the type of person to spend money on an ergonomic chair, and I was in the market for a slightly better chair than the plastic stool that I bought off Wayfair.com, but I really lucked out with FlexiSpot sending me this chair because I did not realize how badly I needed it. Like, oh my goodness. I like this chair because, well, first of all, it is a stark contrast to the last stool I had. It was hardened plastic. This one is nice and cushy. I love it so much. And if I sit all the way back with my butt at the back of the chair and I have that like lower back support thing pushed forward, I did not expect it to actually support my lower back. You know, I was like, oh, ergonomic chair. I was kind of sussed out, you know, but no, my mind has been changed. I can't believe I ever doubted you, ergonomic chair. You see my posture in this? I would have been hunched over. My legs would have been in a crazy position, like if I had my other stool. But look at this. Look at this sustained, prolonged, sitting up straight, getting work done. Like, oh my goodness, my life has actually been altered just a bit. Also, it has a freaking footrest. You pull it out. Look at that. Like, oh my goodness, you can recline. Being a visual artist and being an illustrator specifically has me seated at my desk for hours on end. And I'm a tattoo artist, and y'all know what that can do to your lower back as well. No bueno. So this chair was very needed. It moves when I move. I can sit cross-legged, regular schmegular, or kick my feet up when I'm feeling it. FlexiSpot has given me a code for y'all, which is BDC7, in case you've gotten to the same point that I have and you may benefit from an ergonomic chair. Like, I'm kind of full of regret for trying to challenge myself to sit up straight in that plastic stool because I kind of set myself up for failure with that one. Silly me. Anyway, that code is valid from May 10th to the 29th, so use code BDC7 while it still works for $30 off, and FlexiSpot's brand day is on May 20th, and during that time you can get up to 60% off, so that combination might be helpful if you're thinking about buying something from them. Yay! If you're in the market for a slightly more affordable chair than the one with the whole shebang, like the C7, then you can opt for the C2, which is priced at $119, which is, a bit more budget friendly for those who are balling on a budget. Now I'm repping not one but 2 FlexiSpot desks and a FlexiSpot chair. Whoa, living the dream. But I might need a bigger desk soon with this bigger chair, so who knows what the future will hold. Y'all remember a little while ago when I mentioned Wangechi Mutu in that foreshadowing moment? Well, we're gonna talk about her a little bit more. Her work has been exhibited globally and is included in pretty notable collections such as the Museum of Modern Art in New York, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, and the Museum of Contemporary Art in Los Angeles. Primarily working with collage, Mutu combines various materials like magazine cutouts, fabric, beads, and watercolors to create art that is visually striking and deeply thought-provoking. Her artwork often tackles themes of gender, race, colonialism, drawing on her experiences as an African woman in the contemporary American world. In her pieces, Mutu frequently depicts female figures, often hybrid creatures that are part human, part animal, and part machine. These figures are used as a metaphor to critique societal expectations and stereotypes of women, particularly African women. The use of collage allows Mutu to deconstruct and reassemble images, a process through which she comments on the fragmentation and reconstruction of identities in a post-colonial world. Her choice of materials is also significant. The use of magazine cutouts reflects the influence of media in shaping perceptions of race and gender, while the addition of traditional African materials such as beads and fabric serves as a connection to her Kenyan heritage. I was really drawn to her work based on the color scheme alone. I really enjoy her use of earthy tones to create that distinct atmosphere of pattern, color, and form in this often cloudy and minimalist background. And I just love her manipulation of watercolor because it shows this immense technical skill paired with a really powerful subject matter and story. And that's another thing, I love her use of storytelling and playing with folklore to create an analogy with modern concepts. Like, everything about her art is just so cool. Everything I learn about her art is just more and more fascinating. The last artist I'm going to talk about in this video is Amalia Mesa-bains. Amalia Mesa-bains is a Chicana curator, author, visual artist, and educator. Nice. She is best known for her large-scale installations that reference home altars and ofrendas. I'm going to read this excerpt from an article about her that I think sums it up quite well. Begin quote, Amalia Mesa-bains' work melds together art, science, and history, weaving intricate stories through multimedia installations. Her art contemplates the meanings of multiculturalism as well as the demographic shifts in today's climate within the United States, building off of her own Mexican heritage. Each piece is some form of an exploration of her own Chicana identity, seen through both an artistic and psychological perspective. Few artists have the same academic background as her. She holds a PhD in clinical psychology, which has served as the seed for much of her artistic work. Combining her personal interests, her doctoral dissertation was a study on the influence of contemporary culture and climate on the personal development of 10 Chicana artists. She says that her dissertation established her role as a cultural critic, and her clinical work has pushed her to investigate psychological effects of colonial artifacts, including objects of scientific racism and the cabinets of curiosities, such as those commonly showcased during World's Fairs. This work has been at the core of her approach to making art as a cultural process, deconstructing these stereotypes about non-European heritage and establishing a new dialogue about Chicana culture. End quote. I think it's really amazing how she was able to combine academia and her artistic practice, because that is something that I am very interested in as well. Congrats. Kudos to her. And we are about at a wrap for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching, and thank you so much FlexiSpot again for sending me this comfy chair. I am going to use it until the chair is no more, or until I am no more, whichever thing happens first. And if you guys want to check out FlexiSpot in the description, they will be in there. Go check them out. I hope y'all found this footage entertaining or informative, hoping it was Cocomelon worthy for y'all. I'm gonna link all the artists I talked about today in the description as well. well. Also, please consider donating to the Atlanta Solidarity Fund. It's about that time of the election cycle, if you know what I mean, and arrested college students need bail, and community members could use some aid. I also have a big cartel shop in my description if you want to directly support me by buying any prints or pieces, and I'm looking to make some stickers and or custom lighters, so let me know which y'all would want more. I need to know. I gotta know. And if you stuck around this far, please consider giving this video some love by clicking like, subscribe, or commenting something insanely out of pocket. Y'all see how much work I put into this, how much time was spent on drawing all the things. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video. Stay safe. Bye!